All right, good evening, everyone. On tonight's edition of the STEM Files, we're talking with Mr. Moses West. He is a former Army Ranger and now a leading entrepreneur in water generation. He's developed a product that can pull air out the atmosphere and generate clean, renewable water. Stay tuned for more after this. All right, once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the STEM Files. We are the voice of STEM talent and Black culture. I am one of your hosts, Tariq Muhammad, aka Tariq Cardiac. I'm a biomedical research scientist with a primary focus in cardiovascular pathobiology, which is the study of how diseases form in the heart and blood vessels. I'm joined by my co-host, Jabril.
Peace and blessings, everyone. Jabril Muhammad, aka Jabril Engineer, mechanical engineer focusing on naval ship fluid systems with a background in material science and engineering, which is understanding how the different material classes and their structures impact their various different properties. Stay tuned for more. I'm excited for today's show.
Excellent, excellent. So we are honored to have Mr. Moses West join us tonight on this Thursday's edition of the STEM Files. Mr. West, welcome to the STEM Files. How are you, sir?
I'm very good. Thank you all for having me on the show. Greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely. We greatly appreciate you. All right, Jabril, can you kind of go into more about Mr. West and kind of tell us more about what he does?
Absolutely, family. So, Brother Moses West, he's a founder and owner of AWG Contracting. Mr. West combines a very unique background as a prior member of the United States Armed Forces, where he is an esteemed member of the 75th Ranger Regiment, the 2nd Armored Division, the 2nd Infantry Division, and the 7th Cavalry Regiment, and the 101st Airborne Division. The experiences of military deployment provided Mr. West with unique appreciation for the value of water and his advanced technical skills, thus propelling him into his lifelong mission of producing the leading edge of the most advanced technology to produce water from air. AWG Contracting, under the guidance of Mr. West, has successfully completed deployments of large AWG units to Puerto Rico and recently to Flint, Michigan, providing an extremely pure and unlimited source of free water to the residents on all donations. The mission to Puerto Rico was the first time that any technology such as this has even been powered by solar energy. Mr. West is currently developing new methods of implementation of his technology to include social responsibility and ownership of local water, food, and energy production based around the science of centralized, point-specific water production from the atmosphere. And with that, let's get it going, family.
Excellent. So, once again, everyone, this is the STEM Files, where we highlight the best and brightest in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics in the Black community. I'm excited about tonight's episode because this is the first time we've had somebody on the show that is in the area of natural resources to this extent. So I want to once again welcome Mr. West. So tell us more about your product and how AWG came about.
Well, it came about. I was always looking at some way to save water in one form or another. And the first thing that I was looking at, I was looking at cistern systems. So a lot of people, many people don't know this, but I left the United States in 2001, and I was living in Australia. I lived in Australia for 11 years. And when I was in Australia, I saw there was a great need for water. They had a serious drought problem. And I had this one house. It was up in the Blue Mountains in Kurrajong Heights. And they said, "You're on a cistern system." And I knew what cisterns were. So I never ran out of water. And then one day I went down to the basement and I picked up this big trap door. And I looked under my house and there was an Olympic swimming pool of water underneath my house.
Wow.
A lot of stuff floating on it because it all ran off the roof and down under the house, but it filtered it before it came in the house. And so I looked at that. But then when I went to Hawaii, I saw this little machine, and I studied the cistern systems for a long time and how to bring that to Texas and implement it, but it would have to rain to fill them up. But then when I saw the system pulling air out of my neighbor's, out the air in his house and making water, I thought it was just one of the greatest things that I'd ever seen, because this little machine was making an unlimited amount of water in that humid air in Hawaii. And so I sat there and I thought about it, and this is that typical thing they say about people from Texas. You come from Texas, you see something this big, you think, you know what, I can make it this big.
Right.
So I saw that little machine, and the first thing I thought was, man, if you can do it in that size, you can make it larger. So so I started researching it, and that's how I got started. I looked at machines, and the only thing I saw big machines made in China, all Pacific Rim machines. I saw people trying to do it, and it had this huge energy consumption, massive consumption of energy, which didn't make it feasible. And then I decided to make something better.
Got it. So you said you decided to make something better. So talk about something that when we look at invention and innovation, one of the things we always look at is how much it costs to make it and how long it takes to make it. When you're looking at your product and how you made it better, talk about the process of cutting down the time it takes and cutting down the cost.
The cost right now is still a little bit high for me, because I'm mainly supporting the United States military right now. I build the machines for the military. And so once it's the same with economy of scale. Once I get that large order for, say, 100 units or 1,000 units, the price drops precipitously. So it's that scale up. But on the individual level of the machine right now, the way I have to make up that cost is a little bit higher. But in the development of the phase to get here, it was rough. As a person of color in the United States, and who I am, I've been able to cross boundaries ever since I was in high school, grade school, going to college, and the military. We all learn how to assimilate. But I tell you, some of this was a very tough go because of who I was. But when you have people believe in you and you believe in yourself, I overcame all that. And the development of the technology is when you lose something and someone tells you this is the only way that it can be done, and you just think about it, you got to think about it long and hard enough. There's the old saying, there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Right.
I know a lot of people out there in the pet world are probably going to say, did you hear what he said? It's just ironic.
We did have a animal scientist and veterinary scientist just on the show.
Yeah, we just had one on.
It's only a saying. I would never do it. Right. But so that's really how I got ahead in this game. It's by whenever a door closed, I would always find another way to open it. And in the opening of that other door, I would always find, wow, I can make this more efficient.
Right.
Yeah. So
you talked about efficiency. We talked about product development, and getting a little bit into the science of things. And obviously, we don't want to step on any proprietary toes. But you mentioned how you were studying in Hawaii and you realized how much water is being generated from the humid air present. Can you talk a bit about the actual transfer process from the air to the water, and what regionally may make you be able to generate more or less, going from one region to the next?
Okay. Well, yes. If you when you look at the weather charts that we have all over the world, and you'll see the temperature band that go along. Then you'll see the humidity, the rainfall, and so forth. Rainy part of the year, dry part of the year. Well, one thing that you'll notice on every weather chart anywhere in the world, and mainly this technology should be used in the equatorial zone around the world. That's one of the places where the majority of us live, and it's one of the places where we have the most water contamination and the shortage of water is in the equatorial zones. So that
it has the most water in the air too.
Yeah, that's from the surface to 10,000 feet, the troposphere. You know, we measure the water in the troposphere, in the atmosphere, in the quadrillions of gallons, quadrillions. And so when you look at the technology, people say, well, it won't work in this place. Yes, it will. Because if you look at the humidity range in an area, when the sun is up, what does the sun do to your skin? It dries you out too.
Right.
Yeah.
You put something out in the sun, a tree, anything, it's going to dry it out. Right. So all those little H2O molecules that are cooking around in the atmosphere, when those UV rays hit it, they're gone. But as soon as the sun goes down,
they're back.
All the little H2O molecules, they come out and they're happy as heck to just sit out and play around all night long.
Right.
So you can have 10% humidity during the day, but then as soon as the sun goes down, you'd be surprised. It's like, oh my goodness, man, it's 75% humidity out here. In Puerto Rico, even on the island when I was out there, I'd sit there and I'd say, oh man, I'm sitting on an island, I got 50% humidity. I guarantee you, as soon as that sun went down, that humidity was up 85, 90%. And that's when I was cooking. And so then I developed this, I call it squirreling away. So the machine now is designed, you could program it when you want it to come on. You can program it for, if you want it to operate at to come on at 75% humidity, program it to do it. A certain time of the day, certain time of the evening. Every aspect of this machine is programmable. And you can do it from your cell phone.
So it's an app for it. You got an app that goes with it too?
Yeah. You can operate it from your phone.
That is dope.
Awesome. That's pretty dope. So then you said that currently this technology has military usage.
Yes.
What would be necessary for this to be done commercially or residentially? And in terms of having small modular units, is there potential for that to be able to just create clean water for yourself, a small family, or a single person?
The unit that's sitting in Flint right now, that unit that's supplying a whole neighborhood with drinking water. So that unit would supply an entire block with all of their water needs. So it's already doing it. The people are wanting me to design a smaller unit that'll sit in your house, like the little bubbler that I saw firsthand in Hawaii. The first time I saw one, I got started. The amount of water that you actually are going to need in the future when there's an emergency situation, if I've just got this one little machine in my house that's making 5 gallons of water, yeah, that's great for me. But I need to share with my neighbor. The machines I make for the military, that machine, although it comes in at 2,500 pounds, it's got wheels on it. I push it around. I'm not pushing it up a hill, and you can carry it with a forklift. But that is the machine. I've got to change people's mindsets when they think about water. This machine can sit behind your home. Behind your home, you can put your 5,000 gallon water tank there. This machine will fill that 5,000 gallon water tank up and then cut off. And then when your water tank comes down 1,000, 2,000, when you get down to the 2,500 gallon mark, then maybe the machine will cut back on. But just program it to where you want it to come back on.
Right.
And you can do all that on solar power. So I recommend the 550 and the 800 liter machine. The 800 liter machine is what I'm building for the military right now. I recommend that for home use. So if there's a disaster, not only do you have water for your house, you've got water for your neighbors.
Right. Right. And
You
then
know,
hopefully
this.
we have a good natured
Oh, good, bro.
relationship with our neighbors.
Yeah.
It helps. It's nothing like a good disaster to make you love thy neighbor.
Bring
Oh,
close
come on.
together, right?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, you talked about, this product, like you just mentioned, can bring people closer together. So, have there been any challenges, or have you faced any challenges with bringing this product to the community? Like, because it can really help people be as independent as possible. You have the electrical aspect with the solar, you have the water aspect. Like, this is a steal away machine if you look at it. So, have you faced any challenges with getting it into the community or into the general public's eyes as a whole?
No. The only the worst thing that happened to me, I think, was when I first went to Puerto Rico. There were, oh boy, they trolled the heck out of me. People were they called me everything. They said that guy's just coming here to steal your money. That machine's never going to work. There's not that much water in the atmosphere. See, well, what they didn't know, I've been sitting on military for the past 3 years, making over 1 million gallons of water with several of these machines operating, just making my own river. And doing all the testing with the state of Texas and the Texas Commission of Environmental Quality, working with Texas A&M state representatives, the Texas Water Development Board, the United States military. And, I was stationed on a military base doing this. So the worst thing was the trolls, and they just chopped me up. But then when I got there and I started giving out water, and people would come up, can I have 25 gallons? And I'm like, yeah, sure.
Trying to see how much I can ask for.
Yeah. How about 50? I'm like, sure.
Right.
They go, 100. So I give you 150. So
Right.
That shut a lot of people up really fast because it was unlimited. And then when we went on solar power, I was making so much water. I was like, man, people aren't taking it fast enough. Everybody was filling up. Cars were coming up, filling up. I couldn't get rid of it fast enough. I found a 6,500 gallon tanker that I think it was the Department of Homeland Security brought it over there and dropped it off, and never found a need for it. But somebody was paying for it. So I asked the FEMA director, I said, hey, can I have that thing? He goes, yeah, get a truck, go pull it, do whatever you want with it. It's like a combat zone. So I got that big thing, got a whole lot of bleach. I actually went down inside of that thing and scrubbed it from nose to tail. And, before I put potable water in it, and I filled that thing up in my spare time. 6,500 gallons. So when you look at the picture of Puerto Rico, that big tanker, I think that thing was that's my spare water.
Right.
Wow. Bro, go ahead. I'm gonna see if I can pull that picture up while we talk.
Okay. So again, if I'm the average person or the quote unquote layman or even someone who hasn't seen this before, I feel like this has to be magic. Like, I mean, I know where water generally comes from. I go buy water in the store. I see rivers. I see waterways. The planet's majority water. But you're talking about taking water from the air and using it as potable water. We can wash with it. Can you very generally, not getting too specific, but can you kind of walk us through that general process? What is happening, and how are we going from that atmosphere to potable water that we can use every day?
It happens in the sky whenever it rains. Up there, the little particles of dust, the temperature gets to the right place, hits the dew point, and those little droplets of water form and they come down.
Right.
If you're a Southerner and you're sitting there and you're drinking your iced tea at the table, or your cold Coke in a bottle, or your cold beer at a bar, one thing the barmaid always does, boy, you can tell I've been living in Australia a long time, barmaid. So when they come by, what are they always doing? You put the coaster down and they're always wiping that bar off, and they're wringing that rag out.
Right.
when you look at your bottle of cold, whatever it is that you are drinking, that bottle is sweating.
Yes,
You could pick it up, you could wipe that water off, and if you wipe it on someone's arm, they'll say, "Why'd you wipe all that water on me?" That's a lot of water. So basically, what this machine does is they use a mechanical principle, mechanical techniques to do that same thing over a surface area, and then you control the flow of air over that area. And then there's certain things that you can do with that to make the air stay in there longer. And so basically what you're doing is you're taking a controlled amount of air over a specific area of surface that is at a specific temperature, plus or minus the dew point, related to the temperature or the humidity for that day, adjusted accordingly because it goes up and down.
Right.
And you remove water. That's it. It's keeping a surface area like a Coca-Cola bottle.
Right. Right. And it's funny as you mentioned that, you like you said, when you started off, nature tells us, gives us the cheat code. You know what I'm saying? Our ability to, as engineers and scientists, understand what that cheat code is, that algorithm is, and then be able to not reinvent it, but redo it for our own purposes, keeping balance is key. You talked about really understanding their understanding of the water cycle is letting us to know how we are literally able to do what it is you're doing. And then because it's a cycle, it's constantly happening, and then we can continue to do it for our own purposes.
Exactly. Absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. You and I, and all of us children and all of us adults, we have all seen this when we were in school. You remember when we were kids, we would sit there and they'd always have everything was done with animals and diagrams and been pictures and panoramas. That one of the hydrologic cycle, that thing I always thought was so amazing. The water evaporated out of the ocean, it floated across, and then the clouds got stuck at the mountains. And on the other backside of the mountains was the desert. Then all that rain came down and the trees were growing and the little springs were flowing. Then went back to the sea. And you'd have the little guy fishing there in the stream and so forth. The hydrologic cycle. Well, basically with the machine, I've created the hydrologic cycle inside that machine. I've created inside the machine. And so all these things, just like you're saying, you take what we've seen and what we've learned, and we just don't stop there. We continue to develop it.
All right, so I'm gonna pull up a picture right now, and I want you to tell us what we're looking at. Okay.
Okay. Whoa, yeah. Hey, I remember that. Okay. Right there, the big green container. That is I built two of those, and the sister unit to that one right now is in Flint, Michigan. That unit right there is running on solar power, and behind it, those 2-gallon water jugs, those were given to me by FEMA. If you look underneath there, you'll see those brown jugs. Those brown jugs are 5-gallon water containers. 5-gallon water containers. The silver tank on the other side, that's the tank that I got from the Department of Homeland Security folks through the FEMA director. And I got Louis Berger and one of their truck drivers to pull it over there next to me. I hooked up a pump system, and I would pump the excess water from the big generator, green generator you see there, into that tank every night, the excess water. And when I would come back the next day, the system would be full again. So I had a 6,500 in that tanker, 2,000 in the generator, and all those jugs behind there. I ensured the trick was to make sure that everybody on the island had as many water containers as they could have, as they could get, because the next hurricane season was coming really quick. So everyone had these containers, and I stuck with the 2-gallon containers because you could be 80 years old and still carry one, or you could be 5 years old and carry one. Whereas the 5-gallon container, the soldiers and I, we wound up carrying a lot of those to the cars, and then the people, when they got them home, they weren't healthy enough or or able-bodied enough to remove those. So basically, I stopped using those 5-gallon containers, and we went strictly with the 2-gallon containers, and that's everyone reused them, so we had no refuse. So that's what you're looking at right there. That is a complete island of Vieques water system. And we even had people from mainland Puerto Rico come across on the ferry boat, and one whole stack of that, I would fill that one whole stack of that up and fill it in the back of a pickup truck, and they would go back to mainland Puerto Rico with it because water was going for $1 to $2 a gallon.
Got it. So we have a question. I'm I got so many questions right now. It's not even funny, but let's get on and get to the audience. So we have a question from Kiara
We got
Mahoney.
a few questions from the audience.
Right. How long can that generator run on its own?
Jeez, I don't know. 6 months.
6 months.
I give it 6 months before I personally said, yeah, I got to go look at that thing.
Okay.
Look, if right now, if you told me, you said, I want a generator that runs like that for a solid year, you don't have to touch it. Done. It's not hard. I just if I got the engineers, I have the financial backing to do it. I'll build you one that'll run for a year. You never have to touch it.
Wow.
Nice.
Okay.
Wow.
So
I got another question from the audience too.
bro.
So, big shout out to my personal trainer, Brother Michael Ninex. He actually asked, and we kind of talked about this a little bit, but as an individual, I may want to make a purchase for this machine or machine like this. How much does it cost? How does one procure one if possible?
Oh, you can definitely buy one, but I tell you what, some people say you shouldn't say this, but look, guys, life is short. To be completely transparent, the more units I build, the price comes down. Okay, I do not want to take on an investor. Okay,
I ain't mad at you.
Oh, hey, no. I've been doing this for a while, and I'd rather use my own money, and so to purchase,
you can keep the say so too.
Oh yeah. No one's telling me what to do.
Right.
Yeah, and I obviously don't have a publicist, so. So I tell you what though, if you contact Dexter Moon at AWG Contracting US, he will send you a PO. And as I continue to go, I absolutely guarantee you that Dexter and I are right now, and the engineers at Magnum and Brandt, we are working feverishly to get the price down. But the more units I build, the lower that price gets. But right now it is affordable, because even if you bought one of the units I build right now for the military and you sold the water, you would pay for the machine in less than a year.
Absolutely.
And you can
say it again, because I don't think everybody heard what you just said. Say that again. You put them on game. If you do what?
If you purchase a machine and you took the water and you look at all the work that's been done behind this, and you've actually got a machine sitting someplace, and there's people right now in Flint, Michigan, that are paying $2 for a gallon of water. If you make a poor person pay, or somebody who's in need pay for a gallon of water, there is a special place in hell for you. But if people who can afford the water and who are willing to pay for the water, if they pay for the water, you could pay for the machine. And then you pay for the machine. The people who need water, you give them that water. People who can pay for the water, they pay for the water. Okay?
Right.
That's the way I would do it.
Hey, I got so many questions just from that statement alone, but we're gonna go right back into the audience. This is from Shahid the scientist. He's an electrical engineer out of Washington, D.C. He wants to know, are you looking for young Black engineers to work with?
Oh, definitely. I've met with you've heard about there's a group of people who are trying to break away from the standard way we've been living. There's a lot to say about that. so they want sustainable communities. And if you look at what the United Nations has told us to do, they said there's 17 tenets to sustainability that they want the world to go to in our lifetime to be sustainable, because what we're doing right now is unsustainable. And as you can see, you can't have an entire state or an entire region of the country on fire. You can't have whole rivers that you can't drink from. You can't have whole crops of food that you can't eat because it's too toxic. So the 17 tenets of sustainability are to get us back on track to where we should be. And this technology, this machine meets 7 of the 17. 5 to 7 of the 17 tenets of sustainability. It's the foundation, water.
Wow. Well, we will definitely be making sure to connect you with our bro Shahid, the scientist. We all work with him. He's been a guest on our show. He has a number of initiatives that he's trying to do, and he's big on energy conservation and renewable energy and things like that. So he asked that question. So we'll make sure that you guys link up and be able to build from there. Shout out to Ashley Sampson. She asked, can this be built outside of America? The possibilities are endless in Central America and Africa. Obviously, you've demonstrated that it can be done all over the world. You know what I'm saying? Because in terms of the water being taken from the atmosphere, we're just going back to that water cycle concept. And, you know, your ability to just desire it and implement it is really what's key. So, I mean, I don't know if you have anything to add on that point.
Most definitely. But something here that everybody should please take note of this, please. This technology, this is called the atmospheric water generator. You look at every company in the world, including myself, and you see a box. You just saw the big green box that you put up on the screen in Puerto Rico. You saw the box, right?
Right.
Then if you go to my contracting website, you'll see the box that I built for the military, the deployable box with a rifle company or battalion, brigade, and supplies drinking water. What I've done in the process of developing this technology and making it more efficient, I am now able to take, say, if I build a structure, a concrete structure, like an above ground swimming pool, and I build that structure, say 20,000 square feet, concrete structure, I can make the entire roof structure in that structure rain, make it a water generator. So the water generator, as we knew it, it was stuck inside of a box. I figured out the process to expand it non-mechanical expansion to an unlimited size. And in the process, what happens with non-mechanical expansion in size, you have a decrease in energy consumption because you're increasing the surface area size without having to increase the mechanical energy consuming producing side. And I actually discovered that in a humid shower one night. I was like, how can I get all the water out of this air in here? And I just sat there and thought about it.
Got it. So I have a question from this is one of the more simpler questions from my mom the mom of yours truly. How much is the machine? Just how much is it? Just if someone wants to go purchase it right now, how much would it be?
I can't quote a price. You got to go to you definitely have to talk to my contracting officer, and wherever we're at in the process, where the machines are right now, that's the price of the machine.
Got it. Definitely understand that. So one of the things that we do with the Original Man Scientific,
my wheelhouse.
I understand. Trust me, I got you. All right.
Yeah, I definitely understand that.
One of the things that we do. So the STEM Files is owned by our parent company, Original Man Scientific. And one of the things we do with Original Man Scientific is that we use shipping containers to build people homes, to build their office space, whatever environment they're looking to build, we use shipping containers to do it. So talk about how important it is to use shipping containers to build new realities for people, whether they want to live in them, work in them, or what have you. Talk about that industrious activity of using shipping containers.
We need to get together. The folks that you're working with there, the folks that I'm working with in Georgia, that is a massive, that's a massive market. But to be able to do what I'm able to do with a shipping container, it's absolutely incredible. What you're looking at in the way of a shipping container right now, if I add just my component to that, you're looking at, if that component was added and nothing else was finished out in the thing, when a hurricane hit, you could instantly turn each one into a 10-man bay, a 10-person bay. You could turn it into a hospital. You could turn it into a dialysis clinic. You could turn it into a grow room for food. You could turn it into anything, because now not only do you have the power with it, which fits. I developed a subfloor that you can put your panels under there, everything under there. The water generator built inside of it, water container built inside of it. But when it's time to go, just build that thing out to whatever you need and roll. Right. So hurricane comes through and there's 10,000 people homeless down in Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi and Louisiana. You can roll down there with containers and give people shelter, water, food, and power. And those things are safe, heavy enough. It can be safety down and anchored down that if the next hurricane came, they would still weather that one while they repaired whatever damage was done to the places where they live.
Is it faster to build than a traditional brick and mortar structure?
A container home?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want people to see the advantages. Like I want to go through all the pros and the cons.
Yeah, most definitely, because definitely, if you had 100 containers out here right now and had 100 water generators and put them all in there, within 30 days you'd have 100 homes with water and power rolling out. That's how easy it is.
Family, for anyone who saw our post earlier, Cube by OMS, this brother is bearing witness to what we're doing, striving to do at a higher level. We released that we were back, and we also released, early in the week, a couple of plans that we have in the works that are going to translate to a physical property to be able to be utilized as a home, office, or things of that nature. So, family, if you are interested, you can visit us at the links in our bios, or just go to www.omanside.com to learn more about Cube by OMS. Just go into exactly what our brother is talking about. And furthermore, again, family, for everybody watching, this is the STEM Files. We are live. Tariq Cardiac, your brilliant engineer, live on Facebook at the STEM Files, YouTube, the STEM Files. Make sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at the STEM Files as well. Please look and be in awe at the new and beautiful layout that we have, the Black Power Fist and the STEM stuff inside that as well. Definitely proud of how far our designs have come as well. But yes, so definitely.
Excellent.
On your container homes, let me tell you, it's the millennials. Millennials is the first, guys, I'm sorry to tell you, the facts are just bad, okay? But millennials are the first downward mobility generation that we've had since I can't remember how long, but it's been a long time. And if we don't get on top of the sustainability aspect of what we do, this is the future. This is the future for the millennial of how we need to correct all of the mistakes that everyone else made before y'all got here. But on the container home that you're looking at, that is such a I've seen some of those that are done so beautifully. I mean, they could sit next to a $10 million home and you wouldn't notice the difference. And it's the modern design, the security of it's made out of steel, it's transportable.
Yep.
And here, this is the revolutionary part. This is the revolutionary part. Not only are you producing your own power through solar or through wind, but you're producing your own water. You've just completely cut the tie to the utility company. So you can find abandoned land anywhere up and down any coastline where people have moved out because the water's contaminated because you don't need their water anymore. You don't need their power anymore. So you become your own power utility and your own water utility with this technology. So the big machine you showed the picture of with the big water tank, that was me by myself making water for 5,000 people on solar power.
Wow.
There you go. So if I can do it for 5,000 people on an island,
Right.
you can do it for one family in a house so easily.
Oh,
Right.
of course.
Yeah. You got to have something to compare it to.
Right. All right, so we have a few more questions from the audience. This one is from Kiara Muhammad, who happens to be my wife. Do these water generators come in different sizes?
Yes, they do.
I believe you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do. Because what I've decided to do, everybody's got like a standard size they use. They got this medium, a small, medium, and a large. I'm to the place now where if you come to me and you say you want a water generator, what I'll do is I'll start from scratch and I'll design it and build it from the ground up to your specifications, your needs. You know, everybody's got their cookie cutter stuff, and it's like, well, hey, if I got the engineers and I got the time to do it, and I got the CAD design guys and the engineers, just do it.
Gotcha.
You need one for a winery that makes 10,000 liters a day, I'll make you one that makes 10,000 liters a day. You need one that makes 5,000 liters a day, I'll design and make you one that makes 5,000 liters a day. This, to me, this is no longer difficult.
No longer. Gotcha. Jabril, you want to take the next one? Jabril, can you hear us?
I can't hear you. Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Try coming in and coming back out.
Anymore. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Hold on a moment, family. I think Tariq's gonna come back on, but you can still hear me, right?
Oh yes.
Awesome. Okay. Sorry about that. Thank you so much for that point.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, you're good to go, bro. I think my earbuds actually died. So technology for you, right?
Yeah.
Wanted to give another shout out to Ashley Sampson. She said she loves this and truly appreciate you sharing this incredible knowledge. She asked if we ever consider working with cob homes, earthbag homes, or even hemp constructions. Definitely thank you for dropping those. We have not, but we'll be considering that going forward in terms of doing what we do at Cubed even better. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah. Also, we have another question from my mom again. She wants to know, how have you incorporated your product into farming?
Oh, hydroponic food operation. The one thing I'm working with the folks out in Georgia with, and a couple of universities, and when I go out to California, I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, right now we're in the middle of what? We're in the middle of a historic coronavirus.
Right.
It's spiking, guys. I get calls. I have friends in Italy, Spain, Germany. These are places I've lived all over the world. So I have friends everywhere, and they tell me what's going on, and then I get to see what's going on here.
Right.
So what did the coronavirus do? Who did the coronavirus attack? It attacked people with underlying health conditions,
Absolutely.
compromised immune systems, autoimmune disorders, many disorders that come from drinking water contaminated with chemicals, correct?
Yes, sir.
Or people with lupus and so forth, and people with high blood pressure, people with kidney disease, people with diabetes, people that are overweight. And how do we get all these conditions? We disenfranchise people from quality water, quality land, and quality food. Well, with the technology and the incorporation of this technology with food, here's what you have. You have the ability to produce all of the water that you need to grow all of the high quality organic food that you need. Because if you are on an organic diet, if you're on a healthy diet, and you have not gone by all of these things that Fifth Avenue told you to do, if you did not survive on fast food,
Right.
which was the only thing that was put into your neighborhood, or the liquor store, which is the only thing put in your neighborhood, or the smoke shop, the only thing that was put in your neighborhood.
Talk about the smoke shop.
Was that?
Talk about the smoke shop.
Well,
one strip, like.
Hey, I used to dip. It's all good. But all of these things, they compromised us. We've got to get back to a healthier source of food, but you have to have good water to do it. So using this technology combined with organic food growing operations, that brings back economic growth to your community, because not only are we producing water now, and you can scale up that production of water to whatever number you'd like. Plus, you can scale up the production of food by using vertical grow operations, drip irrigation, hydroponic food operations, and there you have it. And you can do it all on sunlight.
I have so many people that I want to link you with. So a good brother of mine and his family live out in Lehighton, PA. And they have a farm. It goes by MSG LV Farm. So Muhammad Study Group, Lehigh Valley Farms. They sit on about 21, 22 acres of land, have a vernal pond, a few farm animals and everything, bees and whatnot. And the concept that you're talking about, the hydroponics and everything, in combination with the shipping containers, would be amazing. I have a number of different, a few different farming connects that will be very interested in what you're doing, what you're able to do, and potentially adding it to what they already do on their land.
Absolutely.
In the middle of the winter, if you went to the grocery store and you wanted some vine ripened blueberries that were really sweet, or vine ripened strawberries that were really sweet, what would you pay for that little bucket?
A lot.
You can do that in a shipping container 365 days out of the year on a hydroponic grow. So you're talking that little bucket, that little $5 bucket of blueberries, organic. That is commerce. That is commerce to a community. That is the economic engine. It's going to be food and water and health.
Right.
I'll just speak for myself. I don't know if many of your audience might not know this or not, but I've had the coronavirus.
Oh wow.
Twice.
When I went up to turn the unit on in Flint, I was on the plane, and nobody wanted to obey any rules. I had my mask on, and everybody else was like, they didn't care. And so on the way back, I think that's when I got it. But the first time was back in February. And I remember I was in the hospital, and I was recovering from a surgery. And the doctor was looking at me, and he was wondering, he just kept staring at me. He was wondering why I was still alive. And he asked me, he goes, "What do you eat?" I said, "Nothing but organics. I don't eat any meats with antibiotics in it or anything that's been on GMO." And he goes, "That's it." He goes, "You're going to be fine." I was like, "Okay, thanks."
Right.
And so that's it for we're getting devastated. The Black and brown community is getting devastated by this virus. But if we were all on a healthy organic diet of what our ancestors normally eat, or what we ate 100 years ago, we would be so much healthier and fit to fight the virus off. So in this time of COVID, we don't know how long it'll be, how long it's going to last. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. We don't know. But right now, you've got me here. You've got me with my engineers. I can build machines that produce water like nobody's business. And we've got the people who know how to grow organic foods. We can't wait. This is our D-Day moment. This is our D-Day moment to save ourselves. And we all need to pull together to get this done. And I'll do whatever it takes to get it done.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You open up a whole new can of worms, a whole new conversation. You don't know how many times,
That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to make each other think. Did he freeze on me?
Yeah. Oh, there you
go. Can you hear me?
Yo, yeah, we just saw we just saw a funny image because your picture froze for a minute.
Oh yeah, I think something weird just happened. I'm sorry. I'm back. Sorry. How we had a whole conversation before it started, but Tariq and I, we're members of the Nation of Islam, and one of the things we go by is how to eat to live. So eating 1 meal a day, striving to eat the best of foods. You mentioned how 100 years ago we even ate how we ate then, we'd be better. How a loaf of bread today is nothing compared to a loaf of bread from the pure earth-based vitamins and content it had in it in that time. What we eat is not what our great-great-grandparents ate and everything. And really do like that. So definitely thank you for bringing that up. And the last thing I'll say is how when we hear the quote-unquote experts and they talk to us, they all, outside of washing your hands and staying away from each other, why does no one talk about healthy eating? But now we want to talk about this vaccine or these several vaccines that are being produced, but not about building our immune systems in the way that we could have been doing this whole time and should have been doing. So that's a whole nother thing.
Hey, look, we're warriors, guys. And just a testament to how strong we are as a people is that we're still here today from what we went through for hundreds of years, just by us sitting and having this conversation. There's some pretty badass people that came before us.
Right.
And we're the legacy of that. What we need to do is we need to get back to the basics of what make us strong individuals. And the basics is food. Food gives you strength. It gives you speed. It makes the synapses in your brain snap to think. That's what does it. That's what makes you taller, bigger, thicker, stronger, is the food that you eat. You can't build a super athlete on sugar. No, that guy, man, he's eating cow, he's eating pig, he's eating chicken, he's eating greens. And there's something I always tell people to do. And this is simple. Go to YouTube, look at Soul Train, and go to Soul Train 1968, 1970, and look at the people on Soul Train. Okay.
Okay.
Look.
They're all slim.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good example.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So, well, once again, Mr. Moses, thank you so much for joining us on the STEM Files. We're actually wrapping up. We're getting close to that hour mark. How can people contact you or learn get to know you more and learn more about what you do?
Well, Yeah, I have a foundation page, the Moses West Foundation page, and I take donations to that site. The donations, what they do is like if I get enough donations in there when I have equipment left over from the military, I use that equipment and I go and do things with it, like the mission in Flint. Like right now, that mission in Flint, to wrap that mission up, it's $5,000 just to get the truck to come back here. So you can follow me there. And then I made an Instagram page. Hey guys, I'm not the most tech savvy guy in the world. If I spell something wrong, you know what? I'm only human. But I try to keep everybody abreast of everything I do. And I've got to do some filming for the military tomorrow. But the new machines that these new machines, these are the pimp daddy. These guys are badass. When I'll take some pictures of these machines and I'll post them up. You can also see them on my LinkedIn page, and they'll just be out there. Yeah, and that's how people can mainly get in contact with me.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Or through
we'll definitely have you back.
Talking again, because there's a whole bunch of people that I know that y'all need to meet as well.
Oh, absolutely. Likewise, we got the same amount of people for you, and we definitely want to have you back for a part 2 because there's so many questions that I have written down. I have not asked not one of these questions. So we're going to come back and have a part 2 probably sometime next month if you're available.
Okay. Yeah, I will be. I tell you what, I know I have to go to California because we're doing the education and implementing the study of the technology, study of it, and for community gardens, community development. And I'm so looking forward to that. And so hopefully I'll be able to do this to speak with y'all from California.
Excellent. All right. So, all right. I was asked to ask the one question from one of our audience members before we go.
All right.
Let's see. And I can't believe I've actually missed this. All right. This one is from Malik Baynard.
Yes. Thank you.
And I apologize, Malik, for missing your question, man. I apologize. All right. What's the life cycle? And you touched on this a little bit. What's the life cycle of the generator and the maintenance cost?
Right now, the life cycle of the generator I just built, man, it's gonna outlive me. Yeah. It depends on how you make it. And I can build you a generator that will outlive you. Easy 30 years. Easy. And that's just by using this just high quality components, because I've simplified so much of this machine and made it so less complex.
Got it.
High quality, guys.
High quality work. All right, family. This has been another edition of the STEM Files, where we highlight the best of brightest in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics in the Black community. All right. I'm one of your hosts, Tariq Cardiac, brilliant engineer. Anything you'd like to add, bro?
No, family. It's been a blast. We had a lot of engagement for the audience. Thank you so much for the content. Again, this has been the STEM Files on Facebook and YouTube. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Also follow us on Instagram at the STEM Files as well. Until next time, family, we've had a blast. Continue to come for this STEM-based content.
All right, guys.
All right, family.
Yes,
Peace and blessings.
Hawaiian for hang loose.
All right, family. Peace and blessings.
Peace.